That's better. That's even better. 5 counts better. But
Yeah,
you
but you
can't
gotta-
open on
you
2.
can't open
You can't
on
open
2.
on 2 when you got a 5.
Hello. Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. This week in real estate with Mr. Bob Zadora.
Yes, sir.
Big weekend.
Yes, sir.
Big weekend.
I'll be at the race tomorrow morning.
Racing or
No. I'll be at the race tomorrow, checking people in. It's a big deal. It's really blowing up, so that's good. And do my part of the chamber and part of
are you going to be at the beginning of the race or the end of the race?
both, because it comes and goes.
Oh, it's just a big
the
loop?
same place.
Is
It's
it a big
twice.
loop?
It's 2 laps.
Okay.
Is 5K. That was kind of when they were designing the track there. That was what they had in mind.
Cool.
Because it wouldn't work to take them like all the way out to the to where the ball fields and the
Yeah, see, there was
lakes and
days
stuff.
that they would do that. They would bring it out into the city and then back over to the
Yeah.
campus. But
Right,
it's all
right.
on the campus
now.
now.
It's all on the campus. Okay. So moving everything day issue made a big difference.
The red, white, and blue 5K is what we're talking about,
Yes.
and Mr. Zadora is part of the chamber, who's one of the big sponsors of this event for the weekend, the Red, White, and Blue Festival.
Yep.
And you're pretty active in a lot of things.
I wear a couple hats. Yeah, we could say that.
Would you call yourself the face of the Z team?
Yeah, probably. I'm probably more the front guy. Linda takes care of all the important stuff. So rest assured that the important stuff is really getting done. I'm just kind of more this. I do, radio. I do TV. I do different events. I go to meetings. All of those types of things.
Stay community active.
Yes.
And so
Go out and show the flag is what I like to do. That's why I used to tell the coppers, go out and show the flag and let them know you're there.
right.
And I just kind of carried that around.
One of the things when I was on the city council back in the 90s, people always ask, well, why do we see police cars sitting in these subdivisions? Well, because they live there, and the purpose of us allowing them to take their cars home is twofold. One, it gives a visual. There's police in the area all the time. And 2, it just makes it more convenient for those guys to be there because I don't care what their shift is, they're 24/7.
Sure.
Period.
And if something, because there aren't a lot of them, if something really bad were to happen, everybody can respond.
Right.
And they're going to respond.
Right.
They're not going to say, nah, I don't start for another 3 hours.
Yeah, I just got off shift. Let somebody else deal with that.
No. If the phone rings, you go. We had when the pagers first came out, before cell phones. My lieutenant Bob Curry, I was in a unit that would respond to things, and he'd go by and he'd page everybody, and then go back and start to ring the phones at the house. So the pager would go off, so you'd be up and awaken a little bit, and then he'd call you, and so it worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, the bell rings. It's like the old horses in the firehouse. The bell rings, you go.
Yeah. Slide the pole.
Yep. I used to do that too. My dad was a fireman. That's what I was. I was a family of firefighters. My grandfather, an uncle, a couple of cousins, my dad, and I'd go and I'd what they would call fan at the firehouse, and you go and spend the night, and get there in the afternoon. You wouldn't do the whole shift, but sit there, eat dinner, go on the runs,
Go see what it's
hang
about.
hang on to the the thing, hang on for life sometimes. And that was good. That was informative years. You learn things.
Absolutely. I want to just mention real quick, the purpose of this segment we do every Friday is twofold. One, it is to bring information to the public about what's happening in our area of the real estate world.
Yes, sir.
Very important information, though the people that see it pay nothing for it. However, the Z Team pays to be here. This is a weekly paid infomercial, as they would be.
Infomercial, like I said, yeah.
Ronco, you remember the old Ronco days?
That's right.
This is an infomercial that Bob and Linda Zadora and the Z Team bring to you each week, so you know what's going on in our area, because this show, believe it or not, is watched 50 states and all across the area.
Oh, yeah.
And where it falls in as important is, all the community things that you do, and that's why I bring it up almost weekly. What else are you doing? Is because the Z Team's very involved. They're advertising on our football. They do our basketball. They do our softball. They do everything that we do. They usually are there with us, hand in hand, and it's very important. The other side of it is, the reason for this weekly show is, so you know who to call when you need something. Call the Z Team, because they're going to be there. And there's a big team. There's Bob and Linda,
Yep.
Sam, Darlene,
Reese, and Jason.
And now forget about Jason,
Yeah.
because he's so behind the scenes
Yep.
right now. He's not
Yes, he is.
Mr. Drone.
But he steps up. Oh, yeah.
Mr.
You know,
Drone.
get out there and get those pictures and things.
You guys are licensed in both Arkansas and Missouri. You have coverage. Reese normally takes care of the southern portion of Baxter County.
Yeah,
into
and he's
Izard
down
and
then all the
Stone.
way down, yeah.
Yeah, Izard,
Marshall
Stone,
and
those
stuff, yeah.
those areas, Searcy County, portions of it as well.
Yeah.
The other big caveat is you're tied to a large network of realtors. You're part of the Century 21 family, which is nationwide, and they have realtors in every state, probably every county in most cities across
Yes,
the nation.
pretty much. And worldwide.
So if you're watching this and you're thinking about coming this direction, pick up your phone, give them a call, 870-405-0793. Retiredarkansas.net is their website. Give the Z Team a call. So that's my plug for the morning.
I appreciate that.
And
So
that's just,
and it's true.
the way it is.
And it is the way it is. It's, we advertise because we like it here, and we want people who want to come here that like it here. That's a big part of it. We want, you can buy 3 bedrooms, 2 baths in a lot of places, but you can't buy what we have here as far as quality of life. And if you want to see good small town America, come to Red, White, and Blue. Come to the different events. Come to the different chili cook-offs and the pie auctions and things like that. Supporting the firehouses and all the volunteer firemen that are out there putting it on the line for you. Mm-hmm. And our ratings are great here. Look at the coppers that are here and the service that you get. You're in pretty good shape. There's no real crime here. Somebody will write a hot check. Somebody will, do something stupid on occasion. Get
Yeah.
drunk drivers. Not that it's kind of everywhere. That's it's just an ubiquitous thing. There's a certain percentage of the population that's going to take that path, but there's no crime. Nobody's getting stuck up. Nobody's getting shot driving around. Drive-by type things and stuff. And even if you watch the news in Springfield, you think that's a nice, quiet neighborhood. Not so much, So you can go up there, you can shop, and then you come back here to a nice, safe mountain home. There's nothing you can't get here.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have as many choices, but you can get it. If not, you can drive for a couple hours, go someplace, eat a lunch someplace that you don't normally eat in, and then come back to a nice, safe mountain home.
Educated programming is what we're trying to do. Make folks really understand what they're looking at, the possibilities of coming here.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the crime. Just a real quick story. There'll be no charge for this, by the way. When my wife and I got married nearly 46 years ago, I still had family up north, so I wanted to go up there, kind of like our honeymoon, because she'd not been up there. So I had an uncle that's only about 4 years older than me. He said, well, let's go to the city. Okay, this should be eventful. All right, so we go to the city. And we're driving down the road, and I see this guy beating up this poor gal on the side of the road. I said, hey, Unc, aren't we going to stop and help this guy? Because that's what we would do here, right?
Sure, right. Yeah.
He said, are you crazy? He said, this is an everyday occurrence. We are not stopping to assist.
Yeah.
I said, that's what's wrong with this place.
And it is.
Because
and
if the same thing was to happen here, there would be more than one stopping.
Yeah. And that's really the thing. You don't get involved there, and everybody just kind of turns their head and you ignore it.
And then it becomes the
And
norm.
then it becomes the norm. Exactly, Pop. Yeah.
Come be part of our norm.
Yeah.
Check out your numbers.
Much better. Much better being the norm here. This week in real estate, there were 46 new listings came on the market, 2 commercial properties, 6 parcels of land, 38 homes came on the market. They range in price from $42,000 to $725,000. 43 properties sold, commercial property, 13 parcels of land, 26 homes sold. They range in price from $825,000 to $32,000. Average sale price this week was $294,000, with 76 days on market. A total of 8.5 million residential real estate closed this week. So not a lot of houses, but a lot of houses in the upper 3s, 4s, and 5s closed this week. A goodly number to push that 8.5 up quite a bit. 11 properties expired. There were 40 residential price changes, and that's what we're seeing because there's 500 homes on the MLS right now. So that's a lot of houses on the MLS, and so do we. If you're going to try to get to whatever the next phase of your life is, that's the way it's becoming. We've kind of tipped over from it being a buyer's market, a seller's market, where they were holding all the cards. Mm-hmm. Now there's 500 cards out there, not 100, and it's changed we're finding people wanting more. They're wanting homes that are in better condition. Waiting for the guy from California with the boatload of money, that people were trying to do in '08 and again in '12. He's not coming. He's already
here.
He's here. He's either here already, or he can't get as much for his house.
Right.
And that's what we've done. It's a nationwide thing right now where we're seeing that change.
But with 500 homes on the market, it brings back the art of negotiation. It brings back choices. You may not sell as fast, but you're still going to sell. You may have to do some arranging on your pricing.
Right.
You may have to give some concessions, but there's still a market here.
There is a market here, and there's no question. People are coming here. People, you can see with those that have sold. We're sending out more listings to people. You put them on a drip system where the emails go out automatically, or if they're just interested, we can get that information out to them, and they have a lot more to choose from. And there's a lot more. If people are coming here and they're just kind of looking around, they're kicking tires, and that's what a lot of vacationers start as. I'm not real big on taking them to occupied houses because they're really not going to buy something. The kids are in school already where they're at, and they're looking 3, 4, 5 years down the line. But there's enough vacants that you can walk them through to give them just kind of an idea. This is what you get for your money here. Mm-hmm. This is what this neighborhood looks like. These houses were built, all in the late 70s. These houses were built in the 90s. There's enough of them out there that you can do that. And
is getting them into a home to just look at the home as important as getting them into the neighborhoods and saying, okay, like you said, this subdivision, the whole thing was built in the 70s, 80s. This one's been built 80s and 90s. Here's our hospital, here's our school, here's our library, here's our college.
Right.
Which is more important, getting them into a 322 or letting them see the area?
It's the area.
You end up being a tour guide.
You end up being a tour guide, and I think that's more important than the house itself. This place isn't for everyone. We talk about it being God's country and all of the things that we have here, but it's not for everyone. People are looking for more nightlife. They're looking for more entertainment. They're looking for more shopping opportunities. And we explained that, okay, Branson's this far, and it's a nice drive. That's the big thing. Mm-hmm. You're not stuck in traffic for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. It's a nice drive. You can look at the moo cows. You can see the scenery. You can stretch your eyeballs as you're, driving down the road. Mm-hmm. That's really the difference. A guy wrote Jewel a letter a little while back and said that we were the best realtors that he ever worked with that never showed him a house. Because that's what we did. We took him to the hospital. We took him to the library. Yeah. We ran through the university. We took him over to the dams. We took him over to the hatchery. We showed him what we've got here. Show him where the schools are. Show him what the schools look like. Ride him up and down the roads. And they're not all, those types of things. Take him to Walmart. Take him to Harps. Walk through. What do you think? Is this what you're looking for?
Because if you're not happy with that,
right.
It doesn't matter which
Exactly. The houses don't matter. We can find houses, especially now with this many houses on the market. Mm-hmm. But you're selling the area, and churches, all of the things that come out to the quality of life issues that we have here. And that's really the big part of it, Bob.
How do they get you?
You don't get me. You get Linda. That's the best thing you can do. Call her. Call my honey. She's at 870-405-0793. The website is retiredtoarkansas.net. We've got the IDX on there, so all the listings are on there. You can cruise that, take a look, and it's all current. Stay off of Zillow and Redfin and all the other nonsense. They're all clickbait, and houses will be on there that have sold. And then people get frustrated with us, and we don't want that. But give my honey a call. Get the process started. If you're coming in to buy, if you're here and you're listening, and you want to sell, give her a call. 870-405-0793.
Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. Just pick up your phone, call Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team of Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 870-405-0793. Go check out their website, retiredarkansas.net. This has been This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zadora. We'll be back with Coach Steve Airy in just a moment.